Hi guys, my name is Ronki Adekombi, aka AuntyRoro, your most impressive storyteller. I love to speak, I love to write, amongst many other things. Welcome to your favorite show, Tuesday Teaser, where I will be continuing our series on the A to Z of the things you might need to deal with as a single lady above 30. Let me quickly say this at this stage. If you are not currently following me on my Instagram page, I want to implore you to do so right now. And if you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, the question is, what are you waiting for? I have implored you, I have begged you, I have persuaded you. Perhaps it's time for you to just take the plunge. Today, I want to dip my hand into the extensive, expansive, elaborate bloated jar of experience acquired in my University of Ibadan days. I consider my university days very interesting for some fairly obvious reasons. Well, for the better part of the 5 years I spent, or close to 6 years, because there was a time we had one very long break like that. If you're a bit familiar with my channel, you will remember that I said I studied engineering at the University of Ibadan. Electrical engineering, to be precise. You see, this engineering, in retrospect, honestly, between me and you minus my parents, I doubt that I would have eventually studied electrical engineering if I had my way. My first cue, let me tell you, since we are Kokuma going down the memory lane, the first thing that happened to me that made me know that I probably had beaten more than I could chew was one time when I did my first practical in 200 level. The experiment was for us to fabricate what is called an astable multivibrator. I'm not even certain I'm pronouncing it well. A stable or astable multivibrator on a breadboard. And then I got all my accessories, components, because we call it electrical components or electronics components, not accessories. So I got all of my electrical components, and after spending days attempting to fabricate, my device didn't work. It didn't come on. As in, that was my first cue that pointed out to the fact that I had no business in the engineering field. For my second cue, that's how I went for my industrial attachment. So, the statutory industrial attachment we go for when we were in 300 level. I did mine in Nigerian breweries, and I felt I did a good job. Well, for the better part of the time, good company. I met great people, and I wasn't bothered. I didn't really learn much technically, but I wasn't bothered because I was just in 300 level. After the industrial attachment, one day we were in communication class. Yes, I think it was. And some of my colleagues and the lecturer started talking about how the United States of America had launched the SAT-2. Honestly, they were speaking English, but they were not speaking English at the same time because I could not understand anything they were saying. It was at this point I looked at my darling friend Remu and I said, "My dear, we don't miss road. Are you sure we're supposed to be in this engineering class?" You see, yesterday indeed has a lot of memories in it. Some very palatable, others not quite. It was in this same yesterday that I met those NYSC guys. Let me quickly give you this gist before I dash out. I was going out from my house that morning, waiting for a bike, and these two handsome men walked up to me. Then I was in my 500 level at the University of Ibadan. Apparently, one of them had seen me a day before, and he was just talking about this beautiful angel when I surfaced again. Providence. Pure sheer providence. So they walked up to me to introduce themselves and of course to gush over my exceptional looks. I smiled briefly and said hi and walked away from them. Please don't judge me. I have just been told that I'm beautiful. I had to do some shakara, so that's how we roll. Providence apparently was not done with me because as soon as I moved, I saw a bike that was going my way. Immediately I mounted that bike and zoomed off. I didn't even look back to acknowledge the men that were obviously slain by my out of this world beauty. Then, believe me, this is not a fiction. This actually happened. Providence again, my bike became faulty and I had to come down to get another one about halfway into the journey. My subjects, who by now adored the ground I walked on, had gotten a car and they saw their angel standing alone by the roadside and they quickly offered to help. Of course, I entered the car. One of the guys even dared to mention that God must have planned it that way. I sat in the car for the next 3 minutes, barely answering all the questions I was being asked. I got to my destination, dashed off, barely acknowledging my subjects who gazed after me longingly but could do nothing to stop their departing angel. The end. You see, all of these stories I just said are resident in my yesterday. And sometimes I remember them and I laugh. And other times I just wish I had acted differently. But then that's how we know that we have matured. The fact that we can look back at, yes, we could have done and see the things we could have done better. So my darling Tatian, one of the things you would definitely need to deal with are the decisions you made yesterday. No time for regrets, just learn the lessons. Don't sit down brooding over the things you could have done better, the decisions you could have made. Well, you could have made them, but you didn't. And you are here now, so just enjoy the time you have and just maximize the time, knowing fully well that this time around, you are going to make a better judgment. I love you till we meet next week. Enjoy the rest of your week. I love you. Bye.